Hello everyone, myself Navneet Kumar Singh and I am teaching you heat and mass transfer for your GATE examination. So my dear students, in the previous video we have seen that how effectiveness NTU method is useful for your calculations when your outlet temperature is not given. So let us see a numerical on that, and that is composing 3 questions of 2 marks. Okay, it will be very helpful and your all concepts for NTU method will be revised. So let us see, I am reading the question. So, a process industry employs a counterflow heat exchanger. Okay. So, in a process industry, they are using a counterflow heat exchanger. Okay. To cool 0.8 kg of oil having specific heat 2.5 kilojoule per kg from 120 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius. Okay, they are cooling a oil which is having some mass flow rate and some specific heat, my dear students, and they are cooling it from 120 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius by using water entering at 20 degrees Celsius. The overall heat transfer coefficient is given by 1600 watt per meter square Kelvin. So they have given the overall heat transfer coefficient. Okay. Now it is assumed that the exit temperature of water will not exceeds 80 degrees Celsius. Using NTU method, he have specified that we have to use the NTU method, my dear student. Now determine mass flow rate of the water, surface area required, and effectiveness of heat exchanger. So mass flow rate of water we have to calculate first, then we have to calculate what? Surface area required and effectiveness of the heat exchanger, my dear students. So let us see this question. Now let us see what he have given. Let us see. Now he is considering a oil. So he is cooling oil. So we can take the that is hot fluid. We can take that hot fluid, and that hot fluid is having mass flow rate, that is m dot c is equal to 0.8 kg per second, having specific heat Cph, or we can directly write Ch is equal to how much? That is 2.5 kilojoule per kg Kelvin, and he is cooling that oil. That hot fluid is what? Your hot fluid is oil, my dear friends, and he is cooling that oil from TH1, that is equal to 120 degrees Celsius, to TH2, and that is equal to 40 degrees Celsius, my dear students. Okay. Now by using water entering at 20 degrees, so what is your cold fluid, my dear students? So your cold fluid is water which is entering at, means they have given you TC1 which is equal to what? 20 degrees Celsius, and the outlet temperature of the hot fluid should not exceed 80 degrees Celsius because of design parameters. So TC2 he have taken 80 degrees Celsius, and NTU he has also given. What is the value of NTU, my dear students? NTU, the value of NTU is given to be like 4, my dear students. NTU is given to be like 4. So let us see the temperature profile so that you can enjoy that. Okay, let us see. You must have that feel that we are doing the questions of heat exchanger. Let us see. Now, if I will see the temperature profile, my dear students, let us take temperature on the y-axis and length of heat exchanger, that is your length of heat exchanger on the x-axis. Let us take temperature here. So what he have given? He have given us counter flow heat exchanger. Counter flow heat exchanger, my dear students. So in counter flow we know there is what? Counter flow, opposite flow of the fluids. Yes, the fluid is cooling from TH1 to, very good, TH1 to TH2, my dear students. Yes, TH1 to TH2. Okay. Now the cold fluid is doing what? Cold fluid is cooling that fluid or taking its heat from TC1 to, let us take, it is starting from TC1 to your this point. In which direction, my dear students? In opposite direction, because it is a counter flow case. So this will be your TC2, my dear student, TC2. So in this all process, what will happen? The hot fluid will transfer its heat to the cold fluid. Yes, we know, sir. The hot fluid will give its all heat to the cold fluid, and what will happen at that side? Then the heating fluid will be cooled from TH1 to TH2, my dear students. That much is given. Okay. Now, first of all, he is asking mass flow rate of water. Mass flow rate of water. Let us see the first question. Let us see the first. So we have to calculate mass flow rate of water, and because we have considered water to be like cold fluid, that is your cold fluid, my dear students. So I will take that m dot c I have to calculate, and TC1 and TC2 he has already given. So can I take the first assumption? What was the first assumption? That heat transferred by the hot fluid is equal to heat transferred or heat taken by the cold fluid. Okay, heat taken by the cold fluid. So we can say heat lost by hot fluid is equal to heat gained by cold fluid, my dear students. Cold fluid, yes or no? Yes, sir. So because we have taken our assumption that our heat exchanger is insulated from surrounding. So these small points will be very much important for you, my dear students. That's why I'm just taking them. Now, heat lost by hot fluid will be equal to how much? This will be given by m dot h ch, and this is cooling from TH1 minus TH2. TH1 from TH1 to TH2. It is losing its heat. So this will be equal to the heat gained by the cold fluid. So what will be the heat gained by the cold fluid? This will be m dot c multiplied by mass flow rate of the cold fluid into specific heat of the cold fluid Cc. So we know the specific heat of Cc, like for water, that is given to be how much? 4.18 kilojoule per kg Kelvin, my dear students, per kg Kelvin. So Cc multiplied by Tc2 minus Tc1. I am not taking the minus sign. I am again telling you, don't do this mistake. So what I am considering, Tc2 minus Tc1, higher minus lower, so that will be in plus. And I'm again taking TH1 minus TH2, that will be in plus, my dear students. So m dot c dot cc is equal to Tc2 minus Tc1. Let us put the values. What will be the values? Let us see. So m dot h is given to be how much, my dear students? So mass flow rate of hot fluid, that is m dot h, that is 0.8 kg of oil. Counter flow heat exchanger to cool 0.8 kg of oil. So this will be 0.8 kg, that is in kg per second, my dear students. Multiplied by CH is given to be how much? 2.5 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. 2.5, that is kilojoule per kg Kelvin, my dear students. So multiply by TH1. What is your TH1? 120 degrees Celsius minus what is your TH2? That is 40 degrees Celsius. That is very simple question, my dear students. That is 40 degrees Celsius is equal to m dot c. We have to calculate. That should be in, let us take that, we will see that in which unit it will come. Multiply by Cc, which is 4.18 kilojoule per kg Kelvin, my dear students. Very good. Now Tc2 minus Tc1, we have to calculate Tc2. No, he have given already Tc2, which is 80 degrees Celsius minus, and Tc1 is 20 degrees Celsius, my dear students. So this will be degree Celsius, this will be degree Celsius, this will go out, this will also go out. So the remaining thing will be kg per second, my dear students. So the mass flow rate of the cold fluid will come into the kg per second. Let us calculate it. So my dear students, this will be given by 0.8 multiplied by 2.5 multiplied by 80. So this will be how much your? This will be your 80 is equal to, or we can directly take 4.18 multiplied by 60, my dear students. So the mass flow rate for the cold fluid will be equal to your m dot c will be equal to 0.63795 kg per second, my dear students. Kg per seconds. So mass flow rate for the cold fluid we have calculated now. Okay. Now let us see the second question. My dear students. What is your second question? He is asking about the surface area required. Okay, he is asking about the surface area required. So let us see what will be the surface area required for this case. Let us see. So hope you have understood this. Let us move on to the second question, which is he is asking about what? The area, my dear students. The area which is much useful. Let us see the second question. So if I will talk about the second question, my dear students, it will be surface area required. So he is asking about the surface area required. Very good. So let us calculate the surface area. We know that what? That NTU is equal to UA by C minimum. C minimum. Okay, now we know the mass flow rate. Can we calculate the heat capacity for both fluids? Your heat capacity, my dear students. What is your heat capacity? Sir, I don't remember. One student may say. That is given by CH for the hot fluid, and this will be equal to M dot H into CH. Very good. Now, and heat capacity for your cold fluid will be given by capital CC is equal to M dot C into CC. Very good. So we know all the values. Can we calculate the heat capacities? Why we are calculating heat capacities? Let us see. Because in this formula you are having your C minimum. That heat capacity we will see. First of all, we will see for which fluid the heat capacity is minimum. Okay. So that if heat capacity of that fluid will be minimum, it can undergo the maximum temperature difference. We have seen it can undergo the maximum temperature difference. We have seen in the previous video. Okay. Now let us see. This will become equal to, let us calculate CH first. So the CH will be given by M dot H, which is 0.8 kg per second, my dear students, multiplied by CH. What is your CH? That is your 2.5 kilojoule per kg Kelvin, my dear students. So kg will go. So we can easily have the unit of particular CH. So the unit of particular CH will be given by, that is equal to kilojoule per second Kelvin. Kilojoule per second Kelvin. 1 mark question, my dear students. Okay, now this will be 0.85 multiplied by 2.5. So this will be equal to your 2 kilojoule per second Kelvin. 2 kilojoule per second Kelvin. Okay, or we can directly write like 2000 joule per second Kelvin. 2000 joule per second Kelvin, my dear students. Now let us calculate heat capacity for the cold fluid. So this will be given by M dot C dot Cc, and this is equal to, what is your M dot C? 0.6379 multiplied by, what is the heat capacity of this? This is your oil, my dear students. We know this is your water. So in GATE you don't have to write all these things. You just have to do the question here. I will tell you the trick. Okay, only you will save your time. Let us see. So this will become 0.6379 multiplied by heat capacity, which is specific heat, which is 4.18. So let us see, this is 0.63795 multiplied by 4.18, my dear students. This will be 4.18. So this is equal to nothing but 2.6 kilojoule per second Kelvin. Very good. Or we can write 266.6 kilojoule, that will be in joule per second Kelvin. Oh my God. You can see, my dear students, the heat capacity, which is CH, is equal to 2000 joule per second Kelvin for your hot fluid, and this is equal to 2000, or that is 2666.6 for your cold fluid, my dear students, for your cold fluid. Okay, what we can observe here? We can observe here one thing, that our hot fluid is having the minimum heat capacity. Okay, and it is undergoing the maximum temperature change, my dear students. So let us see. Can we calculate the area now? We know NTU, we know U, we know area. No, we have to calculate area. Now we know the C minimum. So C minimum will be equal to your nothing but CH. Let us see now. So NTU is given to be like 4 is equal to U is given to be 1600. The overall heat transfer coefficient is given to be how much, my dear students? 1600 multiplied by area we have to calculate, divided by C minimum, which is 2000. Why I am taking in joule? That is in joule per second Kelvin, my dear students. That is nothing but watt per Kelvin. That is also in watt per meter square Kelvin, my dear students. So you have to focus on the unit, because in GATE you will do the mistakes, I know. So you have to correct now. Okay. So let us see. So the area will be given by equal to How much? Let us see. This will be given by like 4. This will be 5. So your area will be equal to 5 meter square, my dear students. So area will be equal to 5 meter square, my dear students. So can we calculate the second? Can we calculate the second question? Third one. So now we have to calculate the effectiveness, my dear students. Most of the students will say, sir, we only remember the last formulas which we have calculated in NTU, but that is not useful here. Okay. NTU is given, you can easily calculate. First you have to calculate C. You can also go by this method, but I will tell you the simple trick. What will be the trick? Let us see. If you know the concept, you can easily go through the question. Let us see how we can do. Let us see. Now I am solving for the third case. This is your 2-mark question again in GATE. Simple questions will be asked like this. But let us see. 2-mark question in GATE, my dear students. Effectiveness of heat exchanger is asking. Counterflow. Most of the students will do the mistake or they will waste their time. But I will tell you a simple trick. Effectiveness, that is your third question of 2 marks. Again, my dear students in GATE. So effectiveness of heat exchanger will be given by E. That is epsilon E. So E effectiveness is given by how much? That is Q actual divided by Q maximum, my dear students. We know that? Yes. And Q maximum will be maximum. That heat transfer will be maximum for the fluid which is having minimum heat capacity. So let us only consider hot fluid. Let us only consider hot fluid, my dear students. Hot fluid. So now your effectiveness will be given by Q actual. If I am considering the hot fluid, this will be given by M dot H CH, okay, multiplied by TH1 minus TH2, higher minus lower, divided by maximum C minimum, multiplied by TC1, or we can directly take the maximum temperature change will be what? If you know the concept, I know you know the concept now. The maximum temperature difference will be from this much, TH1 to TC1, my dear students. So delta T maximum will be nothing but what? TH1 minus TC1. So the hot fluid can undergo the maximum temperature change up to this, my dear students. Hope you understood this. So this will given this will be TH1 minus TC1. Very good. We know that M dot CH is the C minimum. M dot CH is your C minimum, my dear students. That is your C minimum for the hot fluid. So this will go. This will be cancelled. So the effectiveness will be given by TH1, which is your 120 degree minus 40 degree, divided by TH1, which is 120 degree minus 20 degree. So this will be given by equal to, this will be 80, my dear students, divided by 100. So this will be your 0.8. This will be your 0.8 degree Celsius. This will be cancelled out. So the effectiveness for this case will be 0.8, my dear students, and that is unitless. Okay. So we know the effectiveness now. So we have calculated. So these kind of questions will be asked in your GATE examination. Only these kind of questions will be asked in your GATE examination. That is 120 minus 40. Simple. 120 minus 40. Then we can easily do the 80 minus. Sorry, that is TC. 2, my dear students. We have to only take TC1. So don't do the mistakes in GATE. Okay. Now these kind of simple questions will be asked, and if you remember the concept which I have told you in a very simple manner, and you can easily remember the concept, because fundamentals are important, I'm telling you again and again. For GATE, if you know the fundamentals, you know the concept, you can directly do the question. Okay. So this was the question of 6 marks. Like this can be asked in combined questions for heat exchangers. I am promising you that you will not left any question. You will attempt all and you will score the good marks in heat and mass transfer, my dear students. So solve number of numericals continuously like this, and having the different concepts. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, my dear students.